I'm just trying to live up to be the version of me my dogs think I am. Dopey and Izzy, they assume I've got it all together. Meanwhile, I'm Googling, can dogs eat watermelon? And realizing, hey, we're out of food. And I forgot the flea meds. Total chaos. But Chewy had both, delivered fast. Now they're well-fed, itch-free, and still convinced I'm a responsible adult. Chewy makes it super easy to get everything your pets need. Food, treats, meds, even toys. Shipped right to your door in 1 to 2 days. They've got vet visits, pet insurance, and even in-person clinics popping up. Oh, and fleas? Yeah, summer's peak season, even for indoor pets. Chewy's got vet-recommended treatments to help protect Dopey and Izzy or whoever's running your house. And here's my favorite feature, auto ship. It keeps the essentials coming, and if you're running out of food faster this month than last month, just change the date of arrival. They got you covered. No days with no food. Plus, 24/7 customer support. And if something's not right, send it back. No questions asked. Chewy has everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy. And right now, you can save $20 on your first order and get free shipping by going to chewy.com/Dan. That's chewy.com/Dan to save $20 on your first order with free shipping. Chewy.com/Dan. Minimum purchase required. New customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See site for complete details.
Now's a good time to remember where tequila's story truly began. In 1795, Cuervo invented tequila.
Cuervo.
What are you doing here?
Cuervo. Anytime someone says Cuervo, I show up.
Well, I do know that to be true, but even during ad reads, like...
Cuervo.
I think you could lay out, especially for one of our great partners.
Sweet, delicious Cuervo.
Since then, Cuervo has stayed true to its roots. The same family, the same land, the same passion.
Cuervo.
So, enjoy the tequila that started it all. Cuervo.
Cuervo.
The tequila that invented tequila. Proximo. Cuervo.com. Please drink responsibly.
Cuervo.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Game time is coming through big for the FIFA Club World Cup. Don't I know it? I've already used it twice for the big matches here. There was a packed house on Friday for Bayern Munich Boca Juniors. Those Boca crowds at Hard Rock Stadium have been incredible. Right now, Game Time's got a 10% off exclusive on zone deals. Yeah, the good seats. For all the Club World Cup matchups, you're talking world-class teams, high stakes, and now less money out of your pocket. You get that all-in pricing toggle right there. You click that feature. There are no surprises at checkout. You get virtual seat views, so you know exactly what you're getting into. Game Time, last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. I just used Game Time to pick up 3 tickets to tonight's massive matchup, Club World Cup, Palmeiras versus Inter Miami at Hard Rock Stadium. It's been a lifesaver.
You're going tonight, Greg Cody. Can I interest you in a soccer conversation? Can I interest you in an Inter Miami conversation? Interesting crossroads on the architecture of the future here, whether Messi will be a part of it, whether Messi will be in the new stadium, whether everything that Messi was brought here to do will end up being anything other than an economic boom for the people who run the team, but not catapult the sport into the stratosphere that it wishes to be in when the World Cup arrives in 2026. All of this, an investment toward that time at Soccer in America, funded by Apple TV+. Messi as its biggest star, Inter Miami playing interesting games. Mike, when's the last time you were at a game? I thought you were boycotting the way that they were gouging those prices.
Yeah, I don't have season tickets anymore, but this is I got a great deal on Game Time. I'm going to this matchup because this is a world-class matchup, and it's a big-time game. I think this is going to sound hot-takey because they're not going to win a trophy by getting out of the group stage. They've certainly qualified for the Club World Cup by winning things like Leagues Cup and the Supporters Shield. I think getting out of this group in the Club World Cup, when you're in a group with Al Ahly, the most decorated soccer club on the planet, Porto, a team that has won 2 Champions League, one of which has been won in this century, and Palmeiras, a great team out of Brazil, getting out of the group. I understand different standards for different clubs and different countries. If you ever get out of the group stage, it's something to be worth celebrating. This is a huge, monumental achievement. If they get out of this group, chances are they do. They only need a draw to control their own destiny, or for Al Ahly to not make up the goal differential in the group, because head-to-head is a straight-up tiebreaker. Let's talk about that. They came back from 1-0 in Atlanta against Porto to win that game 2-1. At that time, they were the first team ever from the Americas to defeat a European club in a high-stakes competition. Now, after that, 2 Brazilian teams ended up doing that. The Brazilian clubs are playing really well this tournament, and they're taking it very seriously. But MLS has been kind of embarrassed during this tournament, and yet you have Inter Miami, which in that game, they were carried by Messi. Messi had a spectacular goal. If they get out of this group stage into the knockout phase of this tournament, from a football standpoint, forget business, from a football standpoint, how can you not just stand back and marvel at this move? They're beating teams like Porto, and it's because of the acquisition of Messi. It is a huge achievement and one worth celebrating.
I think this is the biggest accomplishment. If they get into the group stage in this tournament, the biggest accomplishment of the Messi era. And it's been a short era, granted, but this is the best they've done, and they're still the first MLS club. They'll be the first ever MLS club to beat a top European club in a recognized competition. Messi's goal, that's the goal he's been famous for his entire career. Goalkeepers know it's coming. It reminds me of one of the first goals he scored with Inter Miami in the Leagues Cup match that introduced himself to South Florida. And he's been scoring that his entire career. It's always brilliant. Goalkeepers can never stop it because it's unstoppable. Where his left foot kicks it, curls it right into the upper right corner.
What are the other things? What are the other things like that, Monet? Since you mentioned Monet, I don't know if I want to go to the graffiti artist on this, but what other things are like that in sports where you're looking at a signature genius and you're identifying his signature genius with one whistling kick that is an unstoppable thing because of how much curve he puts
Steph
on.
Curry has a couple of them, impossible fadeaway threes and that really top, almost parabola-like layup off the top of the glass.
It was Kareem, right?
Kareem, yeah, with the hook shot.
There just aren't very many where you remember them like all-timers with their all-time moves. I have to do this on delay, though, and forgive me for this. Greg, you said very matter-of-fact in the last segment, the beauty of me.
Yeah, the wonder of me, really. I'm kidding.
No,
I'm a modest man.
Okay.
This is all for show.
No, but the beauty of me is what? You continued during the break to tell me what the beauty of you is, and I thought you should share it with the audience.
Well, look, the beauty of me is that I am just having a conversation here, okay? And I'm including the listeners in it. I'm having a conversation here. I'm in a room with a bunch of friends and coworkers. I lose track of the fact that I should be leaning professionally into a microphone because we're just talking. Okay, when I'm having a real-life conversation with real-life friends in my home, I'm not looking for a microphone, and neither am I looking for a microphone right now. And the beauty of me is that I think people can relate to that, okay? I don't want to have a professional. I don't want to be speaking like a broadcaster. I'm not talking about...
Is that your impression of me?
Yeah, well, no.
No, you don't have a broadcaster voice.
You're the
he told
opposite.
you, yeah.
I've already said you're the opposite.
Yeah.
Okay, you're more like Mike Francesca.
Yeah, he's right.
Francesa.
Yeah,
Whatever.
that's not an insult.
Eric Reed is the broadcaster whose voice you mock.
Glenn Rice from the 3. He's got 5 3-pointers today.
I want to say
5 out of 7.
I want to say that's
Boom.
what he does for only Eric Reed. That's what he does anytime he hears any broadcaster. A baseball game could just be like 2-1 count, and he'll just be like, and it's a 2-1 count.
It's Shekin and Shevin from the 17. Al DeRogatis used to be one of my favorites because he'd always speak like this. And I don't want to be that guy who has that broadcaster voice. I'm a regular guy having a regular conversation.
You're taking this the wrong way, Dan. Like, you're making this as though Greg's some sort of unprofessional broadcaster here, when in reality it's a compliment to you. You've created such a comfortable situation for Greg that at times he just feels like he's talking to some friends and coworkers as he continues to describe them. Which I wonder where the line is, like who, if we were to draw a line right down the middle, who falls on the friend side, who's on the coworker side. But we don't need to get to that.
No, let's do that.
We don't need to.
No, you know what? Let's have you host the game show right now, friend or coworker with Greg Cody.
No, I'm not going to do that.
I want you to bring...
Basically, if you were invited to his 70th party.
I want Greg Cody. I want Billy to host the game show, friend or coworker, with 3 or 4 people here. I would like to do that before the end of the show. But for the moment, I'm going to penalize him retroactively here. I was looking for this, and for some reason, they took it out of the studio.
Greg Cody, major penalty, 5 minutes, me maximum.
That's a penalty?
Yeah, you're going to have to go.
Why is that a penalty, me maximum? It should be celebrated.
Put it on the poll at Levitard Shows. Should Greg Cody's Me Maximum be celebrated? Just go into the other room, and I would like, Billy, at some point for you to host the game show.
I'm ready right now.
Oh, you're ready to do it right now?
Well, I don't have any imaging or anything if that's what you want, but I'm ready.
Oh, we got a song.
No, we've got a song already. Well, we need to get everybody mic'd up in the other room. We got to do however it is that we're doing this because we are doing this on the fly. And the thing that I wanted to talk about that came over I didn't even understand what it was. Did you guys watch any of these Fanatics games? Because Tom Brady wins again. It's fans competing against athletes. And is it it's not Michael Cohen. What's the Fanatics guy's name? The guy who owns Fanatics. That's the party guy who has
Michael Rubin.
Michael Rubin. Thank you.
Party guy.
Well, he's friends with all these athletes.
Oh, doesn't
right?
he do that white party?
He can get all these athletes to a place and get Tom Brady. He has whatever clout it is you need to have. I don't know if you guys have been seeing sort of the power brokering that goes on at the top of sports, but Kevin Durant's got one of these business managers who's with him all the time. And the economy of Durant has a guy that knows how to run business for Durant. Michael Rubin has these relationships all throughout the industry and left the Philadelphia 76ers. This dude is a shark. Like, he is the highest of business things that there are. And Fanatics is a giant, and he's got clout. Like, these videos, these professionally made videos of white parties that have everyone from Jay-Z to Tom Brady at them.
Rich Kleiman's the guy that you're talking about with Durant. Yeah, Michael Rubin's always had a huge network, loves posting photos with his famous buddies. What would seem like to be like an antiseptic type of atmosphere for Fanatics Fest. He's manufactured into an event if you're an autograph seeker to go to, and they've done a real good job capitalizing on social media, making it seem like this is a place that you want to be when the first edition of it was kind of like a lackluster convention. He wanted to make a sports Comic-Con, and I think with more viral moments and years of branding, he'll actually be successful at doing it, which I thought was kind of like a lame concept at first.
He left the Sixers and Embiid and parlayed whatever the relationship was with Embiid to
Well, he did that because he didn't want to get caught for tampering with James Harden.
Great access beyond the NBA. Basketball ownership was small, given how he's thinking about reinventing money and the game at the top of sports.
They have a monopoly over sports merchandising. They've just sealed it off, made it theirs. They dominate sports merchandising now. Everybody has to have a partnership with Fanatics.
You guys see the monopoly is going moneyless in like the end of this year. They're no longer printing money. It's going to be an app that keeps track of the money for you.
What?
Where you scan something, you don't have the paper money anymore.
Oh, that's convenient.
Now we're talking about, we mentioned Monopoly, and it seemed apropos to sneak it in here because I feel like, Dan, you were probably a big Monopoly guy growing up.
I played some Monopoly.
Really?
I didn't have that as the detour in the conversation because I thought you were interested in this Fanatics competition that Tom Brady won.
The Fanatics games?
I didn't know that Monopoly is what it is. I learned something this weekend.
I'm an onion, Dan.
I did not know. You make me cry.
I have many layers.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks, though. It's a great way to teach children money, really.
Or you can still do it just on an app, which is really how money works now anyways, right? Money's just an app.
I wasn't aware that there was a Fanatics game, so I just saw like these
It was
clips.
new this year, I believe.
Is that what Cody Rhodes was doing? Because Cody Rhodes...
terrible basketball.
That was bad.
Oh,
was it because the suit was too
Very
tight?
embarrassing.
That was a tough look for our fellow Cubans.
I don't understand. Like, why does Cody Rhodes volunteer? He's supposed to be like a representative, a top guy in WWE. Why does he even pick up a basketball? He has to know he's going to look awful doing it.
Dude, that was so bad.
It was really terrible.
He needs to have a business guy around him like
Lost
KD
all
that doesn't let him do those things because then he knows this is going to look bad. KD, by the way, was a participant in the Fanatics games. It seems as though he didn't really put much of an effort as he finished 97th place out of 99.
He was traded during it.
Yeah, but he competed in all 8 competitions. He only amassed 56.4 points. Spoiler alert for those of you who are kind of going to catch up on the Fanatics games on your own time. The winner... Tune out if you don't want to know the winner was Tom Brady, 399.1 points. He won $1 million, which is good because Tom, has a divorce.
He gave it
situation.
away.
He
gave it away.
Yeah.
Eli attacking him was cringe.
Yeah, that felt
was
forced.
really
That was one of the competitions. So the competitions were WWE Superstar entrance, so that was Tom Brady's entrance. There was the pitching accuracy contest, which Joe Burrow made look like is the hardest thing in the history of the world. He was hitting the side of the net every time he threw the ball. There was the washer-dryer puck shooting contest, and again, spoiler alert, Gronk won that one with 37.5 points. The QB skills competition, Tom Brady finished second above many active quarterbacks at the time, which is kind of crazy.
Finished second, though?
The only quarterback that finished ahead of him was C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
Rattle off some of the names in the passing that Tom Brady today just beat.
Again, spoiler alert, if you're going to catch up on the Fanatics games at your own pace. C.J. Stroud won, then Tom Brady finished second, followed by Russell Wilson, Eli Manning, Jaden Daniels, Ron Cooper, a fan, Matthew Bailey, a fan, Mark Gronick, a fan, then Joe Burrow, then Dwight Howard, then another fan, then Bryce Young.
Dwight Howard ahead of Bryce Young?
Yeah, then Jack Settleman, another fan, and then Nick Foles. Tyreek Hill was in there.
That checks out.
The worst quarterback finish here. Gronk finished ahead
What
of
happened
James
to that?
Harden.
Did the Noah Lyle? Did that race with Tyreek Hill get canceled?
Yeah, Noah Lyles backed out.
What happened?
Said personal.
Because he almost lost his speed.
Personally didn't want to lose.
Really?
You mentioned Speed. Speed finished in first in the Around the World contest.
That guy's incredible. He's going to be president one day.
Greg Cody is in the penalty box still. He's been listening to the show, and I want to play this game with him, with Billy as the game show host, with the opposite of prude, Greg Cody. Greg, you're going to need to grab that microphone. You need to kind of take your feet up off the desk.
Why?
Okay, but did you have any thoughts on Tom Brady winning the Fanatics games?
I love the Fanatics games. I love the whole idea of athletes and celebrities going up against regular people in regular events like this. I look at that competition and I'm like, I feel like I could do very well on that competition.
Yeah.
Dad, you should. This might be a time to tell the audience what the Greg Cody Show has planned in terms of competitions coming up.
Well, that's true. And you know what? We might take a page from this and do some of these events, but we're having a grandfather versus granddaughter Olympics that'll be on our podcast coming up very
Say the
soon.
fun name that we came up with.
Yeah, 7 versus 70 is the subtitle of the Olympics, and we're looking forward to that. We have several events in store. We have no idea what they are yet, but they will be in store and super exciting. But this fantasy thing, or Fanatics games, whatever it's called, the events are perfectly constructed. I feel like, I'm not saying I would have beaten Tom Brady, but I think I would have done very, very well in that competition.
Well, there's other competitions, Dan. There's the striking challenge. That's for UFC. That one's harder. The goal scoring, and then finally closest to the pin.
Yeah,
Uncle Dick has a hole in one. I mean, he might be the closest you can come to the pin.
They call me Mr. Nine Iron.
Okay, I'm sorry I can't.
Nobody calls you.
No one calls you that. No one calls you Mr. Nine Iron.
Some do.
I've heard one person do that, actually. When we played golf together, we were driving by on a golf course. Someone said, Mr. Nine Iron.
Chris,
Thank you.
Chris
That's
Cody.
what he was talking to someone else.
Chris Cody, help me corral Billy in this game show that is a friend or coworker here.
Nah, Billy's got this.
All right, Billy.
All right, it's time for America's favorite game. Friend or coworker.
Coworker, yeah.
Wow, the audience is in on this, Dan. Let me stand up for this.
Yes.
I want to welcome everyone in to Friend or Coworker.
Thank you.
Now,
Yeah, you already did that.
hold on, I'm setting this up for those who are new to the program.
FOC.
This is how the game works. We have a big cash prize to the person who can most correctly identify whether or not Greg thinks this person is a friend or
So
coworker.
the name of the game is Falk, just to be clear.
Wait, so we're all playing? I thought this would be you ask my dad a name and he says whether
He
they're...
will, but we're playing. We have to guess if Greg considers that person a friend or coworker.
That's simple.
All right, that's great.
Can he hear us, or are we going to put him in a
he can hear
soundproof
us.
booth?
Oh, wow. So you want to do this Family Feud
Well,
style.
we'll
I don't
Falk
know.
all
How do you
around
want?
the studio.
It's your
Yeah.
call. It's your game.
Yeah, well,
Fuck me?
Let's fuck!
Fuck me or fuck you?
today's contestants who are going to be deciding whether or not Greg considers this person a friend or coworker are two person who know Greg very dearly It is Chris Cody and Dan Le Batard. So you are the only two who are going to be guessing if Greg considers this person a friend or coworker.
I like it.
All right. Do you have your writing utensils in hand?
Well, he's going to lie, but I'm going to tell the truth. So I'm going to be honest. But he'll lie, try to be friendly in public when he considers very few people friends. Go ahead.
Okay. So Chris, you ready? Okay, Mike,
ready.
you're the official scorekeeper here today. All right. The first option, and again, the winner wins a big cash prize.
Roy is bobbing his head to this music like he really nailed it with this music.
This is childhood right here, man.
You are so proud of
All
yourself.
right. The first person, Roy Bellamy. Does Greg consider Roy Bellamy a friend or coworker?
I'm
Roy.
gonna say he's gonna say friend, but he's gonna be afraid to say coworker.
Well,
That's not what's your guess, though?
yeah, you need to
Well, but
lock it in, Dan.
He's gonna say friend. I'm gonna get
Okay,
it right.
Dan says friend.
I know that my dad really likes Roy. I think he genuinely, this is a genuine one, he'd say friend.
Greg, is Roy a friend or coworker?
Friend.
Yeah, all right.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Roy. It is a great game.
They both get a point there, but Dan wanted to make sure you knew
Yes.
that Greg doesn't
Yeah.
actually think you're a friend.
And more to the point, I'd say, Greg. Here's the thing: if I said to Greg, give me a number of friends that you have, give me a number that you consider friends. What is that number?
It's not an easy question or answer because everyone has different tier levels of
For the love of God.
He's trying to pin
All
you
right.
down, Greg. Don't let him.
I'm being
And that'll do it for this edition of Friend or Coworker. It ended as a tie.
Thank
Great
you.
game.
One
Excellent
round.
game,
All
Billy.
right, I'll date it.
Okay.
We'll circle back. We'll play
All right.
again.
Yes.
I'm just trying to live up to be the version of me my dogs think I am. Dopey and Izzy, they assume I've got it all together. Meanwhile, I'm Googling, can dogs eat watermelon? And realizing, hey, we're out of food. And I forgot the flea meds. Total chaos. But Chewy had both, delivered fast. Now they're well-fed, itch-free, and still convinced I'm a responsible adult. Chewy makes it super easy to get everything your pets need. Food, treats, meds, even toys. Shipped right to your door in 1 to 2 days. They've got vet visits, pet insurance, and even in-person clinics popping up. Oh, and fleas? Yeah, summer's peak season, even for indoor pets. Chewy's got vet-recommended treatments to help protect Dopey and Izzy or whoever's running your house. And here's my favorite feature, Auto Ship. It keeps the essentials coming, and if you're running out of food faster this month than last month, just change the date of arrival. They got you covered. No days with no food. Plus, 24/7 customer support. And if something's not right, send it back. No questions asked. Chewy has everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy. And right now, you can save $20 on your first order and get free shipping by going to chewy.com/Dan. That's chewy.com/Dan to save $20 on your first order with free shipping. Chewy.com/Dan. Minimum purchase required. New customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See site for complete details.
This show is sponsored by Game Time, the official ticketing partner of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz. And folks, let's be real. Buying tickets for concerts or games is usually a pain. You hop online early, you wait in some never-ending virtual queue, which I truly can't stand, and by the time you get through it, prices are sky high or tickets are gone. It's the worst. But that's why I use Game Time. Look, you guys know me. I'm a white guy who likes to project like he thinks he's smarter than other people, which means Vampire Weekend is one of my favorite bands. And when Vampire Weekend was coming to town just a couple of weeks ago, I was looking for tickets, and not only did I find amazing seats on Game Time, but I actually saved a ton of money. Game Time has last-minute deals that let you save up to 60% off for concerts, comedy, theater, sports, you name it. And soccer fans, how about you listen up? Game Time's offering 10% off exclusive zone deals for FIFA World Cup matchups. Big matches, great sections, and even better prices. You can see the view from your seat before you buy. Checkout takes just 2 taps. There are no surprise fees. What you see is what you pay for. So take the guesswork out of buying concert and show tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DAN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Hey guys, it's Jeremy, and I'm spending the early parts of this summer trying to go on a health kick. I want to feel like I'm being the healthiest to my body inside and out, and I want to do that in an easy way, because I'm busy, you're busy, we're all busy. It's that time of the year where even though things are lightening up for kids getting out of school, we all still have work to do. Let's make this our best season yet with nutritious 2-minute meals from Factor. Eating well has never been this easy. You just heat up and enjoy, giving you more time to do what you want. And they've got 45 weekly menu options, so you're never going to get bored. You're always going to enjoy it. And for me, these meals have really helped sustain me when I'm looking for something healthy, when I'm running between here at the Le Batard show and the Marlins games and stuff we've had to do with the heat. I'm constantly just running between events, and being able to just stick this meal in the microwave and enjoy it. That's tasty. There's really good chicken options and shrimp options. There's red meat. There's really everything that you could be looking for. So go ahead and get started at factormeals.com/Dan50off and use code Dan50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code Dan50off at factormeals.com/Dan50off for 50% off plus free shipping.
Dan Le Batard.
I heard that as a woman faking pain. I didn't think that sounded real. I really didn't, you know.
It was not fake. It was in no way fake.
Yeah.
You can spot a woman faking it?
Stugotz.
Yes, I can, Jess.
Expert.
I've been married 40 years.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Circling back to the NBA, home teams in Game 7s and the finals are now 16-4. So basically 4 out of 5 times just if you're playing at home. If you got Game 7 at home, that's the biggest advantage to have. And last night, you guys are with me on the idea of OKC is an absolutely historically great regular season team that was ripe for the taking at the end because of all of the youth things that you associate with not being able to win a championship. Stopped because in 4 of the 7 games, they allowed a lesser team to dictate the entirety of the game to them and made them play 4 of their worst games of the season. The result of these finals is that the best team won, but the best team won because they got lucky that Halliburton wasn't around for the second half. That seems like a crazy thing to say. It was a lot harder than it needed to be because that Indiana team is simply not as good as that OKC team. Not at defense at all.
OKC this year is a bit of an outlier in terms of recent history. But the sport, when I was growing up, back to the mid-20 teens, it did probably the best job in making sure that the people that followed the sport knew this was quantifiably the best team. The team that won the championship was always the best team. And you look back, we're alternating championships at a rate that we've never really seen in our lifetimes.
No, we never have seen.
7 straight different champions. Crazy.
It feels a little bit more random. And while the best team won this year, and you make an argument, the best team won last year, they're getting the benefit of injuries that I'm not really sure. I'm sure if we dove into it, maybe I've forgotten some other injuries. But it's odd that injuries are playing a bigger part of the story in these championships lately when we're in a recent era of
what
load
the hell
management.
was that? What was that?
A sneeze,
Was
man.
a sneeze. Because you're tight. We're good.
Okay, I just said no.
Unprofessional.
I didn't. Oh,
Not a professional broadcaster.
Dan makes everyone comfortable, so they just think that they're hanging out in the room talking to him.
So Kyrie Irving gets injured last year. Jimmy Butler gets injured. These were players that had load management programs around them. We're in an era of load management, and yet in the postseason we had 3 Achilles injuries. You could go entire NBA seasons without seeing that type of injury. Why, in an era where we're so attuned to the athletes' bodies, where we're trying to avoid injury, are you seeing so many more of the arguably the most catastrophic, outside of death, the most catastrophic injury a basketball player could suffer? This was considered a death sentence before, and now we're seeing it all the time routinely when we're trying to stop injuries.
So is 3 a trend? Because Boogie Cousins was never the same after this, and this is one of the places that I remember learning of how it is that potential can go to die, where athleticism can go to die if the Achilles is snapping. In a way, it's a gunshot. People can hear it. Halliburton knows what it is. That's why he starts crying. He knows immediately that is not something he gets up from. We saw this happen to Kevin Durant kind of the same way, right? Where we don't know what these guys have to do to mask to get out there. Like we put a lot under that umbrella if someone's banged up. Like they are just, I can't even imagine what doctors are doing to protect those economies. Just to be clear, right? Did you guys see that an NBA executive said that when Dallas won the lottery, it's worth between $500 million and $1 billion to win the lottery in basketball to your economy because of how, if you get one of these stars, and you ride his body for 5 years, you can make a giant business around everything that's happening in this sport and these bodies. Kawhi Leonard told you a while ago, don't trust the doctors. Total mystery, the way that he won a championship injured, but we don't know the lengths these people go to. But when Kevin Durant breaks because of something else that was wrong with his body, when Halliburton breaks that way, where all of us are like, oh, there's the slow motion, that's the Achilles, we know this now, and it's not, that looks like a move any of them can make at any time, unless you're hopped up on so much medicine that you're muting all of your body screaming, and when you're not supposed to move that way, you got so many drugs coursing through your body, because you must, right? I'll put all the allegedlys out there, but they'll do anything to play in that game, right? There's no shot that any player in the NBA would not take in order to make sure that they can play in that game last night. We all know this. It's an understood part of it, but it ignores something that now threatens the Pacers next season, and I think it's fair to say, threatens whatever Halliburton becomes next, even if science does allow you to come back from this better. Because Kevin Durant is still a great shooter, but Halliburton does kind of need some of that quickness. Like that injury, that game was being controlled by him with no turnovers last night, and then he leaves the game, and all of a sudden it's 21 turnovers, and that's exactly how OKC is going to win the championship. Wire to wire all season, just stealing the ball from you.
I thought about the Orlando Magic last night, too, when that injury went down. The Orlando Magic made an aggressive move, and people are criticizing the amount of picks they gave up, but they got a player that is exactly what they need. A guy that can cut, a guy that can be a 3-and-D guy, shoots at 40% from three-point range. Exact fit for what they need to win in the East. And not only do they make that move, but they're looking at an Eastern Conference that doesn't have Jason Tatum in it anymore, doesn't have Tyrese Halliburton in it anymore due to this injury.
Milwaukee, too.
The Lillard thing is definitely, and they're probably going to get rid of Antetokounmpo because of an Achilles. So you have three teams that were atop that Eastern Conference, a conference that was already wide open, that are just totally devastated for next season. Man, I'm surprised Orlando could have given up 2 more first-round picks, and the move would have been justified.
Is three a trend? Like, load management. We're going to great lengths to keep these bodies healthy, and all of a sudden you get this particular injury.
Dan, we went 20 years just saying, man, I remember when Isaiah Thomas had that injury, and it was a wrap. Remember that? When Kobe got the Achilles, everyone was like, man, we haven't really seen this since Isaiah Thomas. And since Kobe, so many NBA All-Stars, so many future Hall of Famers have had this injury.
Yes, but with Kobe, it bears noting that whatever the end of Kobe's flame was, he couldn't move the same way at the end. He was always going to be able to get fadeaway jumpers.
No, my point is that when it happened to Kobe, we all like, wow, that never happens in this sport. It certainly never happens to a star player. The last time this happened was in the early 90s. This is something that's foreign. And now the second someone's playing through a calf strain, you're worried about, man, is he going to get Duranted?
It may sound stupid. I'm just going to say it anyway. All these players wear low-top sneakers now. Does that mean anything?
There is a theory. I Googled it, so I'm sure there's a lot of artificial intelligence, but a lot of the stuff that came back was the shoes have changed, and there's an argument to be made. Now, a lot of these injuries have happened in this postseason, but that load management actually hurts. This is a tendon.
Of course it hurts.
This is a tendon that needs to be stretched and constantly be active to build up
strength. And the game is played faster than it's ever been played.
So if you're taking several days off and you allow that tendon to actually tighten back up, you're acting against the best interest.
More back-to-backs.
You mentioned artificial.
Playing Chuck Taylors.
You mentioned artificial intelligence. I saw that the godfather of AI, he suggests that if you want to survive in whatever the future holds, you should become a plumber. And I also saw that because of AI, and I did not have this as an early byproduct of AI, but evidently everyone's now cheating at school. There's no point to pay for school anymore because everyone can have all of their work done by artificial intelligence. So you're just burying the teacher in a bunch of fakery because the computers can do it well enough to get you a B+ or a. Like, what is that? Like that, you render schooling almost irrelevant. Pat Sajak gave us that wisdom. You don't have to learn anything anymore. You just have to know how to find it.
That's the skill. How do I find this? How do I write code to find things? That's what you need to start training in now.
You guys worried? I mean, it's AI.
Yes. It's going to lead to a lot of back in my days.
No one could do what I do.
It's going to lead to the dumbing down of America, and we can't get much dumber. But, in this case, there's a shortcut to finding out that makes us not want to learn anymore, makes kids not want to learn. I don't care about myself at my age, but I think about that. What kind of a world is my granddaughter going to grow up in when there's AI in every facet of life except plumbing?
We better be getting our kickbacks. Huh? If we're out of work, we better be getting our AI kickbacks. What is AI built on? All the information that human beings have put into it.
You're welcome.
AI reparations.
I don't know about that.
No, absolutely AI reparations.
Yeah,
this is a prevailing theory too. Read the book Abundance. This is something that has been talked about. Once AI does actually come for the jobs and starts replacing the workforce, human beings need to be getting their cut. Okay, it's better for the what?
Minor penalty, 2 minutes, asshole.
Me?
It was read the book Abundance that was the sentence that got you going.
Wasn't Mike asking for reparations?
It wasn't. It was just it was the phrase read the book Abundance. You just gave us a reading assignment.
Read the audiobook.
This is gonna age so poorly for you in 10 years. I'm getting kicked out for invoking something that is going to be like, what?
Okay.
All right.
I brought up the threat.
Idiots.
There are many existential.
I think we already are dumber.
There are many. We are surrounded every minute by existential threats. This weekend brought an almost literal apocalypse of I don't recognize the America I live in when we're at war. This flippantly, I'm going to say, and
I'm back.
Oh.
It's 2 minutes. Let's just pretend.
Can we just invent like a computer virus to take out AI, like a computer COVID? If
Go
you
on.
will. You go and the AI is compiling all these problems for us, taking our jobs. We're losing our recipes because of AI. But if you make a computer virus, let's call it, like a super virus, a bug that shuts down all of AI.
Like an entity.
Can we not win?
What if the key to this virus is buried beneath the Arctic Sea?
Mr. Nine Iron?
Do you know what he's referencing there when he says we're losing the recipes? I believe it's the greatest moment in the history of University of Miami football broadcasting was Warren Sapp and Michael Irvin on the set of an NFL product.
That's all I had for about a decade. No success on the field. It was just the NFL morning show and that segment of Sapp and Irvin.
What are you laughing about?
I don't remember the Sapp and Irvin show. Sorry.
What?
It was a segment inside of NFL Game Day where they would talk about all the games, but Sapp and Irvin had like a 5-minute segment where they would just be over the top. Real manic energy. I'm not really sure what was going on there.
Uh-huh.
I was, I don't think I've told you this. I was supposed to host a show for the NFL Network with them, but I had to fly to Los Angeles every week to do it, and I wasn't willing to do it. Let's play this sound right here and I aired, by the way, because this could have been my life, and I would have rocketed to television stardom all over the globe, carried on the whimsy and general recklessness of these two men on television, neither of whom should ever be on television, except they're both great at television.
Oh my God, this is what's wrong with today. The young ladies today, they're not learning from mom how to cook. We're losing recipes.
There you go. I can relate.
How?
Recipe books, man.
Oh.
I mean, Nana, had a
Doogie.
Nana Doogie had a thick recipe book, this thick, with all some of them were clippings she had cut out, but most of them were handwritten recipes. And where is that book today? But the problem is now, and it's a version of AI or Google or whatever, now you want to make a chicken parm and you're dumb, you don't know how to do it without a recipe, you Google chicken parmesan. And you just get it like that. You don't even need a recipe book anymore, let alone long-standing family recipes.
You still print recipes. I'll go to your house on a Sunday and you have like the printout from the website.
If it's a recipe that I haven't made very recently.
You do it for everything, and you're always like, I got my own way, but I just need
Nana
this here.
Doogie's recipe.
I mean, I made steak and baked potato and asparagus yesterday. You think I had recipes for those staples of cuisine.
There was something charming, Greg. I think you'll agree with this. There was something charming about a handwritten recipe book where sometimes maybe their little splish splash from the stove gets on the recipe. Is that a teaspoon? Is that a tablespoon?
Yes.
We'll figure it out.
Right. Splish splash. I'm taking a bath. Yeah. So
Splash,
you don't
splash.
need a recipe book anymore. I feel bad for the people still writing recipe books. Who's buying those? I mean, AI. It's crazy.
You're selling 2 books right in front of you.
Well, these aren't recipe books. You can't get this anywhere else.
Oh, but that's a recipe for recycled.
Oh, back in my day? Says the guy whose last 9 episodes of South Beach Sessions have been best ofs.
God damn. Man, what are you doing?
That's not recycling, though.
Hey, reality was last week.
What are you talking
But
about?
before that, no, I'm a South Beach Sessions fan. I see it, greatest hits. I mean, am I wrong?
What do you think Sapp and Irvin felt when they were like, yeah, the Le Batard doesn't want to fly out. So that's that.
They could have relocated. They could have done the show from Sofla. They chose not to.
No, the show had to be in Los Angeles.
Why?
Sofla?
Yeah, why did you do that? Why did you do that?
I've been saying Sofla for years. It
Yeah.
hadn't really gotten off the ground, but I've been, that's my nickname for South Florida.
Don't give
I would
up.
lose that.
What's your greatest professional regret, Dan?
My greatest professional regret.
Not counting me.
I got to think about that one
All
for
right,
a
think
second.
about it and probably don't even answer it.
Apparently,
Dumb question by
apparently
me.
it's a long list.
No, I've got to think about it for a second so that I don't. You're asking me. I may blindside somebody here, so let me think about it for a second.
That's why I'm saying probably don't do it. I know famously on the show you said that you were once offered like 7 figures to move to Detroit and be a columnist there, but you were like, no way.
No, I was not. I was offered. It was not a 7-figure job. Those jobs, column jobs, don't pay like that. Never have.
That's what I was thinking when he said that.
Never
Oh,
had.
I mean, you're good, but not that good.
But
Come on.
yes, I would not live in Detroit. I didn't want to live in Detroit. Yes. Is this?
Wow, it's time again for America's favorite show.
Could have used you 5
Friend or coworker. All right, for those just joining us, today's contestants are Dan and Chris Cody. I'm going to name a coworker. Mike is keeping score here. And we are going to have Dan or Chris Cody guess whether Greg considers this person a friend or coworker. We have a tight one right now.
Now,
Tied
Billy,
up 1-1.
Is this a new game? And the last one ended in a draw?
Yeah, this is the second edition.
Okay.
So,
But
all
it is a tight one right now because it's tied 0-0.
it's a tie one all time.
Yeah.
If it was a 7-game series, right now it's tied 0-0-1. All right. Jonathan Zaslow. Does Greg consider Jonathan Zaslow a friend or coworker?
Yeah, that's a coworker. I don't think he likes that.
Is there a third option?
Chris, friend or coworker?
Is there a worse option than a coworker? I'll go coworker.
Oh, worse or enemy? Okay, coworker or enemy. That's a different game.
That's a different game. I don't host
Friend,
that one.
coworker, enemy.
Greg, is Jonathan Zaslow a friend or coworker?
I would say a coworker, if that.
So I get extra points.
No.
You should. The if that deserves an extra point. It does.
Dan tried that last game.
Yeah.
We didn't allow him.
All right, so that's a tie.
All right, it's
And
tied
that'll
again.
do it for this
All right,
edition of
thank
Friend
you.
or Coworker.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Fuck.
Do you guys? I was made aware of something this weekend that I was not aware of, and I'm guessing I'm going to shock you when I tell you that.
Can we
it's
guess?
So you're not going to get it right.
Is it that there's more microplastics in glass than there are in plastic bottles?
What?
It was that actually. No, the mini bar is endangered. The hotel mini bar, it's a bad business and it's going under. And very few places are still doing it successfully because it is either on its way to extinct. It's just a terrible business for hotels. They get stolen, things go bad, and even though they're charging you 4 and 5 times what they should be charging you, I had no idea that the mini bar. Did you guys know this? I'm shocking all of you
No,
with
I
this.
didn't
Correct?
know that.
I mean, I've seen my dad put in some work on them, so I thought they were
I love the mini bar.
blooming.
Yeah, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Did Greg Cody, for about 10 years, single-handedly keep the mini bar business alive? At Le Batard Show.
Although my dad's move at a hotel is go buy a 6-pack somewhere and then fill his.
Put it in the bathtub.
No. Well, that would be if he had like 2 dozen. It's
Yeah, which
sink.
which
he fills up the
has.
sink.
No, I've seen the bathtub. He's slowing down, your old man.
Howdy, folks, it's Mike Ryan. Now, if you've been listening to the show a lot lately, you've heard so much playoff talk, playoff hoops. Down here in South Florida, we're especially enamored with playoff hockey. It's not just limited to the playoffs, motorsports, tennis, golf. It's truly one of the best times in the sporting calendar. And with the weather outside warming up, it's just perfect to hop in a pool, maybe grill up some food, but most certainly crack open some Miller Lights. I just described a pretty perfect day, didn't I? And it culminates with Miller time. There's something about a perfect grilling day. The sun's out, friends show up, and that first sip of Miller Lite just hits different. I've been stocking up the cooler with it for years. This year, Miller Lite turns 50. That is 5 decades of cookouts, laughs, and ice-cold moments that never miss. And if you've listened to the show for its 20-year existence, you know this to be true. Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Cheers to 50 years of Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.